One thing that I'll never do is judge somebody for starting on Facebook Marketplace. So the way I first started was I bought a 2007 BMW 335i Coupe, so it's an E92. And that's what started my flipping journey essentially. I purchased that car, I took an L on it, and then I got introduced to getting my dealer license. But there is so much money to be made off Marketplace and OfferUp. To be fully transparent with you, I've made $25,000 in a month by flipping cars from a dealer-only auction and also at the same time flipping cars from Facebook Marketplace. Okay, before we get started, I do want to let you know that you are able to get your dealer license through a program that I created over a year ago, and we now have 957 active members where you're able to get your dealer license, start buying cars from a dealer-only auction, buying and selling unlimited cars. As you can see, we got dealer plates right here, people purchasing vehicles on the daily and also receiving their dealer plates, wholesale license, retail license, and also becoming a dealer representative. As you can see right here, there is a bunch of money, plates, and vehicles also coming through as well. And then if we go through here to the Classroom tab, you'll see a whole bunch of resources where you're able to maximize getting your dealer license and becoming an independent car dealer. We have credit repair, we have unlimited Carfax reports, temp tags, reassignments, floor plans, everything you need all in one place. So if you're ready to go ahead and get started, go ahead and subscribe, like this video. And if you have any questions at all, message me on Instagram. And if you're ready to get started right now, it'll be the top link in my bio. In that month, I'll go ahead and explain the cars I bought. I bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee for like $3,000, sold it for $4,000. I bought that off Facebook Marketplace. I bought an E46 M3 2001, 190,000 miles. It had 4 owners, no accidents, very clean. I paid $7,500 for it, and I ended up selling it for $12,000. That's off Facebook Marketplace. And then I also bought a Toyota Sequoia with 180,000 miles for $4,000, and I sold it for $6,800. And then I bought a Toyota Camry from the auction. I paid $5,000 for it, sold it for $6,500. It was a couple other cars I also sold that month, but like I said, the total net profit, this is not total gross, was $25,000. That was in a month. And it's absolutely insane. I will never judge anyone using Facebook Marketplace as a tool to get started. So that's exactly how I got started. I bought my first car on Marketplace, sold it to somebody that was a dealer. All I did was ask, how'd you get your dealer license? And the crazy thing is I'm able to offer it now. But the beautiful thing about starting on Marketplace is you can do it on your own terms. Most states allow you to do 5 vehicles per year, and that will allow you to register the vehicles, and then you can sell it or you can float the title. I'll go ahead and explain to you what floating a title is, or a lot of people call it curb stoning. So floating a title, pretty much you'll go purchase a car off Marketplace and you won't register the vehicle, you'll leave it open. So for example, let's say you go buy a car on Marketplace and they're like, let's do the paperwork, you purchase the vehicle, you leave the title blank, you're not purchasing it. What a lot of people do is, I'm not gonna say myself, but what a lot of people will do is they'll say, oh, I'm gonna put it under my girl's name. She's not here right now, I'll do it when I get home. Then the seller will leave it open. You leave it open until you find the next owner. This is highly unethical, borderline illegal, because you're avoiding paying taxes. So you're keeping the title open and you're gonna go ahead and reassign it basically to the next owner. That's what floating a title is. A lot of people do this. It's a lot happening on Marketplace. So you don't get floated on a title. All you gotta do is make sure the ID matches with the title paperwork, or a last name is the same. That way you're protect yourself. Essentially, you're not buying a car that has another title open. And another thing that's also important is Carfax. You need to make sure that you have Carfax and you run the vehicle history so you can understand how to avoid making a mistake when it comes to title floating. So how I got started back in 2019, or it was the beginning of 2019. It was the beginning of 2018. And I got my first dealer license. The first auction I actually went to was CarMax, and I bought an Acura TL. I was so pressed the first time, and I don't recommend anyone the first time you go to the auction to buy something, right? You want to make sure you're making the right sound decision for yourself, and you're doing the right thing when it comes to going to these auctions and navigating. You need to make the smart and sound decision. Don't do what I did. I bought this Acura TL, very expensive. I paid all the money for it. Ended up taking a loss in that car too. So the first 2 cars I even bought, the one that I bought off OfferUp was just the 335i, and the Acura TL I lost money on because I was thinking more so emotionally than strategically, right? Acura, Toyotas, Hondas, and Lexuses, those vehicles hold their value really well when it comes to resale. So you should stay away from those as a beginner. So I got started, like I said, you could float titles on Marketplace, and then I didn't get Carfax until about 3 years into buying and selling cars. And this really changed the game for me because before I was going in blind, I didn't know what I was buying, didn't know the vehicle history, don't know whether it was in an accident or not, didn't really know anything. But Carfax helped me a lot because Carfax is the most trusted Carfax history report that you could buy, or vehicle history report that you could purchase. Now, how it's going now. I'll explain exactly how it's going now. Let's go ahead and write that. So the way it's going now is I'm able to go into these dealer-only auctions without even a scan tool and be able to tell whether a vehicle is good. So basically sourcing is really the hardest thing for a lot of people. But once you get familiar with vehicles, what to buy. So if you go back to my previous videos, you'll be able to see what not to buy. Sourcing gets easier. I tend to stay away from cars with check engine lights. I'm really not trying to deal with taking a vehicle to and from the mechanic to get repairs done and things like that, unless it's minor, unless it's like a misfire, things like that. What I'll do is bring a portable Bluetooth OBD2 scanner, pop it into the vehicle, run the codes lightly, make sure no codes are cleared or anything like that. And the thing is, this is very important. Sourcing your vehicle is very important, but making sure you're not buying from a small dealer. So I'll put this down right here. Small dealers will go ahead and send their vehicles to auctions because either one, they can't sell it on their lot, or two, they're unable to repair whatever the vehicle issues are. So what they'll do is they'll send it to auction. There's no reserve on it. It's sold as is. And they'll try to go ahead and prey on somebody else that doesn't really have the common sense on what vehicles to buy. So you really need to make sure you're seeing who the seller is for the vehicle. I like buying from Carvana, let's say WeBuyAnyCar.com, Ted Britt, vehicles from large dealerships that are usually typically trade-ins. So if you can stay away from small dealers, is very important. You need to stay away from small dealers. Another thing is understanding arbitration. Arbitration is so important, right? I've arbitrated a couple of cars because once you go up in vehicles you're purchasing in price, you can arbitrate these vehicles. You can get a post-sale inspection, and this will allow you to return the vehicle if there's any issues over $800. Arbitration policies depend on which auctions you're going to. So for example, Odessa has a different arbitration policy than Manheim. If you're buying a vehicle online through OVE or Odessa Clear, they have a different arbitration than the regular version of Odessa or Manheim, for example. So if you're buying online, especially because they have that $50 online buyer fee. Arbitration is very important. Like I said, how it's going now, I buy very expensive vehicles. I make sure I get a post-sale inspection. And then the first thing I do is take it immediately to the dealership to get it's inspected to see if there's any codes on it, if there's anything that can warrant it being arbitrated and taking it back to the auction. I'll give you an example. I bought a 2023 BMW M2 and the title didn't come in for 30 days. I ended up returning the vehicle, got my money back, no questions asked. That's a no title arbitration. The auction has 30 days to get your title. If they don't turn in your title within 30 days, you can go ahead and return the vehicle, no questions asked. That was actually a great thing because I ended up paying a lot for that car. I paid like $64,000 for that BMW M2. And then when I sent it back to the auction, it ran again. It only brought $57,000 and they sold it. And I bought it from GiveMeTheVin.com. That's another wholesaler kind of similar to We Buy Any Car or Carvana. So arbitration is extremely important. Another thing, how it's going now is another thing is also having connections. So your connections is another thing that's so important. The reason for this is because if you don't have a good network of people to work with, you will lose money. I'll give you an example. When I first got started, I worked with this dealer, this mechanic, and I sent him my vehicle. It needed an engine. And he was like, yo, I don't have the funds for the engine. That's standard. So I was like, you know what? He was like, give me $2,500 and I'll go ahead and source an engine for you. And me being green, me being new to the business, I went ahead and gave him the $2,500. About 8 months go by, I don't hear anything from him. So I just pop up to his dealership. I'm not his dealership, his mechanic shop. And I see another Volkswagen CC outside. So this was a 2007 Volkswagen CC. Never buy these cars, they're terrible. But he bought another one just like it, tried to swap the engine, but the internals didn't match. So he wasted my $2,500. The guy actually ended up going bankrupt. The crazy thing is I still have the title for this vehicle and it never got fixed. So I ended up losing $2,500 and then $2,000 on the vehicle itself. And the engine, the vehicle was just a shell. There's nothing I could do. Like I said, the guy ended up going bankrupt and his shop ended up closing down. That's why connections are so important. You can lose a lot of money working with the wrong people. So now I have a good mechanic, a good body shop, a good tire guy. That is really important, especially when you're going to work with vehicles, because mechanics and body shop, they try to finesse you as much as possible. Another thing that I think is extremely important that every dealer should have is AAA. AAA is important in case your vehicle breaks down, battery dies, you have any issues with your cars. What I do is I'll just go ahead and call AAA, either get it towed, get the battery replaced. That roadside assistance is very important, because if you don't have the roadside assistance, let's say you get stranded on the side of the road, you're gonna have to go ahead and call a tow shop. They're gonna charge you $300, $400. AAA has free towing and things like that. And you don't wanna leave your car on the side of the road, because these are unregistered vehicles. You're on a dealer plate. The state police can impound the vehicle. Then you have to show proof of ownership. It's just a whole mess. I've had this happen before. I let my friend borrow a car, broke down on the side of the road. He left it, and then I had to go pick it up from a impound lot, pay, I think it was $700 to get it out. It was absolutely crazy. AAA is very important, because you could be able to get that vehicle off the side of the road. And then to sum everything up, I think the most important thing other than that is being able to have a network of people that you can sell cars to immediately. So basically wholesaling and a network of other dealers you could sell cars to. So I had a, handwriting's terrible. I had a 2021 BMW M4 competition that had the frozen black paint, really nice spec. But then I basically, before I posted on Facebook Marketplace, I posted on my Instagram story. I was like, hey, if anyone's interested, before I post it, I have this for sale. And then literally within 5 minutes, a dealer hit me up. He was like, yo, I'm interested. Let me come check it out. I let him test drive it. On that car, it had a whole front end PPF. It was very clean. And he cashed me a check right then and there. Sold him the vehicle. They actually ended up selling the car for $68,000. I sold him the car for $60,000. Somebody got financing for $68,000. Really crazy. But your network is really important. So I appreciate you guys staying for this entire video. I'm going to continue making more content, short form, on Instagram and TikTok as well. You guys will be seeing me purchase a vehicle here soon. I might be buying one today. If you have any questions, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I know I said that earlier, but you can message me on Instagram. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you for watching.